So very namaste and good evening to all distinguished gathering present here on the platform of UniQ at the rate Kuch Baatein Zindagi Ki. Once again, 3H family is here to welcome each one of you. 3H Companion is an organization aims at helping and guiding individuals as if answering their problems about work, life skill and management with 3H, that is head, heart and hand. It doesn't teach, just live. Its thought and the intensity changes others. Love, respect, patience, good laws, and fair justice are the best instrument it believes in working together and succeed with integrity. Develops education by empowering students, parents, and teachers socially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and professionally through workshops, sessions, and training programs, with a vision to create passion with compassion and more smiles. In 2007, it is staffed with almost 50 members, those who want to learn, sing, and rock beyond books in 3 months to develop personal and spiritual skills with a mission, each one teach one. It has now risen to thousands. Small step of each member from different place and profession made it a big contribution in the field of humanity to create a difference in self and others' lives. With constant feedback and inspiration socially and globally on social sites, it seems as the word is its family with connections, cultivation, and contribution. Our learnings are beyond books and syllabus. We enjoy learning everywhere from games to cinema, outings, and visiting Balwadis to bring smiles to them. Tiffin talks, rain clap, generator clap are often enjoyed. All are free to showcase their talents. Learning with music, mime, and dance are used as therapies. Games like carom and snakes and ladders are enjoyed to learn risk factors. Leadership and managing skills, SAM, that is stress, anger management, mistake, cheat. We prefer to connect rather to simply contact. A hearty welcome to all of you in this world of wonders. Today, at this dazzling eve, we have dynamic personalities with us to discuss on the burning issue of CBSE trainings, academic or educational front. So we have our guest of honor, Dr. Rupali Dhamdare, a dynamic and phenomenal principal who knows how to lead difficult but critically important situations, goes beyond the day-to-day demands of the position to create an exceptional educational environment. With 7 years of experience in banking and 20 years in the educational sector from teacher to the principal, she has molded her leadership style for teamwork, efficiency, and the work ethic to keep getting better, yet make no mistake. Dr. Dhamdare is best described as an inspirational leader. She has a way of motivating teachers and students alike to work hard, keep a good attitude, and be socially responsible. Very pertinent, ma'am. It's really much needed that beyond education, we must know our attitude is our gratitude and sense of responsibility. And you are taking in both hands. She believes teaching is just not a profession, but a platform to be resourceful, thereby helping to push the community into raising responsible citizens. She says, I strive to play an important role in the education and personal growth of children and adults by encouraging them to maximize their potential while promoting the interpersonal and communication skills essential in creating a positive and productive working environment. Dr. Rupali is currently the principal at Trinity International School. Her formal experience in education dates back about 20 years, but her study preparation goes back much further. So she is a constant learner and seeker, no doubt, an education must. She has earned master's diploma in journalism and communication from Symbiosis, Bachelor of Education, University of Pune, Masters of Science, University of Sikkim, and PhD in Analytical Study of Teaching, Pedagogy, University of Tonga. To her credit, she has been recognized and awarded with Indian Humanitarian Award 2020, 50 Most Influential Principals of India 2009, Best Principal Award 2019 for contribution to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and list goes on. She actively promotes a passion for learning by collaborating interstate and national workshops, speaking at conferences, and serving on committees to innovate strategic educational answers. She researches and publishes educational strategies and even hosts multiple collaborative pieces of training and workshop for numerous organizations, including the CBSE board. So a hearty clap to Dr. Rupali Dhamdere. We also have our guest speaker, Mr. Anurag Gupta, Director Principal Vidya Niket Gwalior, Master Trainer CBSE India, to address his more achievements, more front. I would like to call Ina ma'am. Ina ma'am, over to you now.
Thank you so much, Chanchal ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to welcome such beautiful people on this platform. First, I would like to welcome Dr. Rupali Dhamdere, because I missed that opportunity before because I was busy into the technical part. Welcome, ma'am. And then I would like to welcome Anurag sir once again, because I've spoken to him in the starting. Welcome. And it's great to have you on 3H Companion platform where we Zindagi Ki. And yes, it would be a pleasure to listen to you. And I think audience are going to enjoy it thoroughly because it is all related to our education once again today, which is so close to our heart. And yes, let me introduce our guest for today, Mr. Anurag. After completing Bachelor of Computer Science and Engineering from RGPV Bhopal in 2002, Anurag ji went to pursue Masters in Digital Communications from Monash University, Melbourne, Australia. Upon completing his Masters, he started as a business development executive in a telecom firm and finally joined a hosting and infrastructure firm as a business development manager in Melbourne, Australia. During the course of time, he was awarded Australian citizenship as well. He returned to India as an OCI, Overseas Citizen of India, in 2008. He was contemplating attaining a business degree for a long time after his post-graduation. So he joined the PG PM program in 2008, Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. He got placed as manager, strategy and business management in a telecom infrastructure firm in Gurgaon, presently we know by Gurugram. After working for a year, he decided to do something in the field of elementary education in India. So he quit his well-paid job and started a school named Vidya Niket in his hometown Gwalior in the year 2012. In the meantime, he attained the Bachelor of Education from Jivaji University, Gwalior. That's great, sir, to know from you have the corporate entire life you have worked in that, and then you graduated into the school industry. So you are the best fit how our children can move to the outside world. You know everything about it, ins and out. Apart from running a school, he also provides consultation for CBSE affiliation and other related matters. Along with this, he is a CBSE accredited master trainer and certified accreditor for National Accreditation Board of Education and Training. under Quality Council of India. Also, he conducts training programs for principals and teachers in different schools across the nation. Great to have you here, sir. We would be, I think the entire audience, we together would be learning, me and Chanchaldi would be learning so many things from your lovely, beautiful experience along with Rupali ma'am. Welcome on the board. And over to you, Chanchaldi.
Thank you, Ina ma'am, for all the way you go. It's really, very boosting when I listen to all the guests, all our, all the things which you told about all our guests. This is encouraging and inspirational. So, Sir Anurag, you are on limelight itself. So let me ask you about the first thing, Vidya Niket. I wish to ask you, like you remain from the corporate world and then coming to educational field and opening your own school and named it as Vidya Niket. What's that behind? What's the spirit behind? Sir, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear?
Yes, yes. Now you are audible.
Sir, you are again on mute.
Sir, it is. Sir, please unmute.
Am I audible?
Now, yes. Now, yes.
You are not. I'm not able to listen to you. Just give me a minute.
Yes.
Just give me a minute. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the journey is correct. What I've been told to you by ma'am. There's certain change in it. Slight difference. It's a slight difference. You asked me a question: why from corporate world, from India to Australia to Chennai to Bombay to Gurugram, then to Gwalior back, and then how from a engineering background to a school education field. So the school that I am running right now, that was started by my parents in '94. Somehow in 2003, it was closed down. Okay. So when I went to pursue my master's and I started working in Australia, my father wanted me to come back to India and do something in India. I was not sure about whether I'll be running a school after say 6 years. So I just came to India with the mindset that I have to stay in India, I have to work in India, and just be a normal person doing 9 to 5 job, having engineering degree, having masters, and then having this thing MBA. And I was doing pretty well. I mean, I was doing absolutely pretty well, earning very handsome salary in 2009. Suddenly, my father called me one day and he said to me that I want you to come back to Gwalior. And I said, what will I do if I come back to Gwalior? He said, I don't know, but I need you because my health is aging. I'm aging and my health is going down day by day. And I need you in Gwalior. Then I said, what will I do in Gwalior? Because I was working in Gurgaon. Gurgaon is a different set of story altogether if you compare it with a small town of Madhya Pradesh, that is Gwalior. And he said to me that I have a long-term dream that I close down the school due to whatever reasons. There was no one was there to look after the school. It's my dream that you come and start it again. So I said, impossible. I am not that kind of a person and I can't run a school. It's not in my mindset right now. Okay. He said, take your time. He said, take your time. So that was somewhere in the year 2009, September or October. Suddenly it clicked to my mind. I said, all my life, my father was doing something for me. Now it's my chance to give him back something. So let's go to Gwalior and let's see what will happen. So in 2011, I came back to Gwalior. And then in 2012, I started the school. The reason to start the school was just for the happiness of my father. That's the reason I started the school. After running it for quite a number of years. I had that knack of education because my whole family is into the field of education. My mother worked as a principal for almost 35 years in a school. So I was brought up in that scenario, in that household where we talk about teachers and students and parents and exams and assessments, everything. So that knowledge I was carrying with me, but I didn't have any intention to do that. That is the reason. The only reason that I came back was my father, and then somehow I liked the journey I started on, and then I did my bachelor's of education, and then gradually I started learning, and by God's grace, now I am establishing myself in the field of training and workshops, which is going pretty well for last almost 6 years now. So this is my journey. That if you ask me why you started, why you came back, the reason is my father. Unfortunately, I lost him in 2019, and the best part that I could feel is that I stayed with him for 10 long years, and I was able to take care of him. So that was that what you say, that was the whole income of my life, that I got what I was well paid after doing that duty of mine. So this is my self satisfaction that this is what I'm doing, and I lived up to his dreams, and he died happy. That's what my
Sorry to hear about, sir, and may his soul rest in peace wherever he is now. But sir, this is true that the real education, what you said, serving mankind is service to God. And our parents are living God on us. And what you did is really made you a real educator. All the audience, especially children, you must learn this, that if you are a student, if you are a human, then we must know this fact, that it's not degrees that makes you educated, but it's your attitude, your thinking, your mindset. Sometimes, like sir, we come not by choice, by chance, but then giving our best, loving what we have should be our attitude. So that's great to hear about you, your shift from corporate to educational front and opening Vidya Niket. Vidya is itself educational, and Niket, if I'm not wrong, something related to home, where people can feel
Niket is a
comfortable like
house. It's
home.
called house. House. Niket
Yes,
means a
yes,
house.
home, home.
And yeah,
That's
it's a
what I
home.
said.
It's Niket means home.
Yes, where people can feel comfortable, like home. They can feel like as if they are at home. Good name, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Dr. Rupali, is there anything you want to add for a shift? Because you have also shifted yourself from banking sector to educational front. So what do you say about that? Is it easy for anybody to shift from one field to another field? And if suppose by chance you shift, so which are the ways which we should adopt and feel love towards it?
See, I got into banking due to some family, concerns at that time and the requirements at that time. And banking, because my father passed away when he was into service, and then being the elder daughter at that time, so that is how I took to banking, so that I would be the next support to stand in. Uh, that is how I got into banking, but. Before that, it says that I've done my postgrads from in journalism and communication. I worked for DD10 for sports, and been a sports reporter, and have done a few contributions over there and things like. Hello, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the thing that happened was that banking, though yes, it was a necessity at that point of time, the numbers never actually interested me. So though banking and a nationalized banking job is considered to be quite ideal and basically for a woman, so that you have a good balance in work and family, and you have your holidays, and everything is there in place and things like that. So quite a settled kind of a thing which anyone would want to, because it's quite a good deal to have your work life balance with family and everything. So but though it was secure, like I said, the numbers never interested me. And then I accompanied my husband to the UK for some time. And as I did not have much to do there, I started following my son to his school and do some voluntary work. So doing that, I realized that this is something that I want to get back to, and this is something that really interests me. And then when we came back, because we decided not to settle there, permanently, and we came back. And then I thought that I would not want to go back to the numbers again. I would want to change, and this is what I would want to do. So post that, then, I got into a school where I started my journey as an assistant teacher for the nursery class. And yes, here I am today. So, very happy, very content with what I'm doing today. And I do not regret my decision at all till date.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rupali. And really, this is the need of the hour, that people should understand that there is nothing permanent in life. We do not know about future, and we always, remain in our thinking that what will happen the next time, what would happen after next 2 years. Like today, if it is online, so we are not supposed to. We are not thinking about how to do better offline things, but we are thinking about when are we going offline. So nothing is permanent. If it is online today, we will be having offline, and offline can be online. That's a real shift. What you two people have said, that shift can be anywhere in any circumstances. Only thing is that how we make it successful, how we start loving it and doing it at our best. Thank you. Dr. Anurag, I just want to ask you, what's the difference between teaching, training, and counseling? These are three very similar terms which go hand to hand. What's the difference between three? What do you say about it?
देखिए, teaching is basically, for teaching, training, and counseling, if we talk about, teaching is more or less related to between a teacher and a student. That is what teaching. When you have a set concepts that you need to transmit from one mind to other. That is teaching. When you have certain subject concepts, वहाँ तो आती है teaching. When it comes to training, training is not basically telling you the concepts of the subject. Training is more or less related to how to deal with the daily operations of whatever responsibility has been given to you. For example, if it's a teacher and a student relationship, then training involves all the processes of how to do teaching effectively. That is training. So teaching is the basic part. Teaching में आपका basically क्या है? Subject knowledge, subject expertise. That is teaching. जो हम बच्चों को देते हैं, वो उससे रिलेटेड जो चीजें होंगी, वो सब्जेक्ट रिलेटेड जो चीजें होंगी, दैट विल कम इनटू द टीचिंग अम्ब्रेला. है सब मिले हुए, लेकिन अगर आपने डिफरेंस पूछा तो मैं वो डिफरेंस बता रहा हूं. व्हेन यू कम टू ट्रेनिंग पार्ट, ट्रेनिंग इज सब्जेक्ट एक्सपर्टीज तो आपके पास ऑलरेडी है. इन नो ट्रेनिंग दैट वी कंडक्ट, वी टीच यू कंसेप्ट्स ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट. इन एनी ट्रेनिंग दैट वी कंडक्ट, वी टीच यू और वी टेल यू how to do the transaction of your curriculum, how to transmit ideas from your mind to your audience's mind. So this is what training is. When it comes to counseling, it's not the same. It's absolutely different story altogether. Counseling is more or less related to your behavioral issues. Nothing to do with your concept, nothing to do with your teaching, learning methodologies. It is just related to your inside and outside behavior, how you react to different situations, how you change yourself to different situations. This is what counseling is. But as as a teacher, and more importantly as a principal, because I'm playing a role of a principal and a director both, then I have to have a mix of everything. So normally now I am not a teacher because I don't deal with students directly. I don't teach them. I am a trainer and a counselor. My role has changed now. After so many years, I talk to them. I talk to my students every day. So you can tell, you can basically tell that I'm counseling them. So I'm playing a role of a counselor, and I talk to my teachers every day and train them. So I am a trainer for them. So I'm no more a teacher now. I am a trainer and a counselor. Teaching is the basic foundation of these processes. Counseling is different, but teaching and training are certainly one thing, but they have limitations. Teaching is the foundation and training is one step ahead. So different audience, you use these words for different audiences. You cannot use training for students and you cannot use teaching for teachers. So for teachers it's training and for students it's teaching, and for students and teachers and everyone who is working for you, that's counseling. Yeah.
Okay, in other words, we can say that like when we are imparting knowledge, like it from any of the source, whether it is book, whether it is any other source, it becomes our teaching part. And those knowledge when change or transfer to a skill formation, that is training, and a proper direction for any teaching or training becomes a
I would
yes, sir.
how to impart or how to transfer that knowledge to one person to other, that is training basically,
Yes.
and the knowledge part is teaching. And the overall picture where you deal with your life problems, goods and bads, that is counseling.
Yes, that is the proper direction to anything. When we direct properly, that's in the counseling part. Very, very well. Well said, sir, because this is very important to know about all the three concepts. And that I believe that a teacher always remain alive all through our life, whether we are mothers, whether we are principal or trainer, whomsoever, because without that, these training or skills cannot be performed and established. And Dr. Rupali, coming to you, like sir has told about our training, our mentoring or counseling part and teaching part. These days, it is compulsory that teachers need to be trained. And there are a number of CBSE trainings and other training we people have. What do you think about? Is it really in the right direction? Are teachers really certified for the knowledge, or they are skilled, or they just collecting the certificates? What do you say?
See, training is important. Because learning has to be a lifelong aspect. Learning does not get. And for a teacher, she has to be a lifelong learner. Only then she can do teaching. If she says, I'm a teacher, I know better, then she is no good for anybody. So learning has to be there. Once a person is a learner, always a learner. Once a teacher, always a teacher. So that is what is there. Trainings are important. Lately, I would say that the CBSE is zeroing down to the specific requirements of the teacher, which actually help the teacher to actually get trained only for those tiny particular subjects and those tiny particular skills and things. It is not a very broad kind of training. So then this helps definitely the teacher to pick up things from the training and actually apply it in the classroom. But then there are people also who register for each and every and any training that is available just for the sake of the certificate. But the thing is that thing is that they actually a certificate or a paper does not make you a good or a bad teacher. When you look at the person and when you see the passion with which the person is going to perform, that actually segregates a teacher, a good teacher, from the others, and from the crowd that is there. So whenever a teacher comes to me, I would not and would never evaluate her based on the number of certificates she has. I would want to converse with her. I would like to understand the level of passion that she has. And then I would like to definitely place it ahead. Because just having the certificates does not make a person a good teacher. That is what I believe.
Yes, ma'am. Very true. Because I also believe in that, like connection, relation, and passion. These things are must for giving or receiving. Both the ends. Either if you want to receive also, then also you need to build a connection, you need to build a relation, and you must have a passion. And same at the time of giving. Sir Anurag, what's your input? Do you also think the same, that these three are must to give and receive any of the training or any of knowledge, any of the skills?
देखिए, my take on that is what ma'am said. Absolutely, what I feel in the last almost 5 years of my capacity of trainer, almost like 80 or 75% of the teachers are there to get the certificate. Hardly 25% of the teachers involve themselves in that real training part. It all also depends. We cannot just blame the teachers for this. It all depends a lot on the trainer that is training you. If a trainer is involving him or herself with the teachers who are the trainees, then certainly the participation is mental participation is more. So it is important. Trainings are very much important. But if a person is not trained in any of the trainings of CBSE, that does not mean that person is not a good teacher. The basic qualities of a teacher have to be there in a teacher. These are sharpening their skills time to time. So the onus lies on the trainer, how good you conduct your sessions and how engaged you keep your audience, and then you can expect their participation. So it is basically a two-way relationship. We cannot just blame the teachers for it. It is two-way relationship. Yes, it is important. Um, and CBSE has arranged a lot of trainings. I have conducted almost 100 trainings for the last 1 year, offline, online trainings. So it's a good step by CBSE, and they're trying very hard to train each and everyone in at least certain domains. And they have a vast list of modules, of generic modules, that would be called them generic modules, where teaching learning process is basically discussed in more detail. But yes, trainings are required because number one, it breaks that what do you say, it gives you an idea, and it gives you an opportunity to think and interact with people from different schools. Number one, it gives you a break from your monotonous schedule where you just sit and think, learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because in your normal schedule, you don't have that much time to think on that. So you can basically brush up what you have been missing or what you have been forgetting, because we know each and everything because we know the protocol. But the problem is, with the problems that we face during, we have a shortage of time, we have limitations, we tend to forget things which we need to learn. And basically the training is nothing but reiterating the concepts which everyone knows. So it's like revision of your concept that a person goes before does that before the examination. It's a revision of the concepts so that you give your examination or you take your examination in a better way. That is what training is all about.
Sir, one thing is there that we are not blaming anybody, but the thing is we want to ask and we want to discuss about the, like, with what lag behind that, even after so many training sessions, that our education system is not in a
That's what
better version.
I'm trying to say.
Right.
What is lagged behind is sometimes teacher go with the mindset to get the solution of their practical problems in the trainings. Okay. If he or she is able to get that, then it's absolutely a value addition. If it's not, if it just we read out a PPT and just do what the protocols and then they come back, there's no learning. So it all depends on the trainer itself. That teachers should ask questions. Number one, they don't ask questions. So if they ask questions, they will get the answers. So this is lacking behind in the training sessions because they don't ask questions. I can't tell you without knowing what you want to know. There's a certain thing which I can tell you, but your problem is your problem. You have to ask the question that how to solve this problem. So they don't ask questions. If they ask questions, the training sessions would be wonderfully, what do you say, conducted, and it will be a great learning for everyone.
Yes, it is true, sir, that questions need to be raised from one end and it has to be responded for another. But you see, most of the training sessions, there is no opportunity given for question raising. It's just PPT shown and delivered, and the like our trainer is speaking about whatever is shown on PPT. So things have not become interested and involving. What you said, right? If a trainer keep on involving and engaging the participants, whether it is something to think, something to create, then it becomes, yes, engaging and an awesome training. And that's what you said, that reinventing people. People can rethink, people can relearn, taking that, yes, they have come. And very first thing is what I think, mindset. Let's go with the mindset that we are there to listen, Anurag sir. We are there to see what we do not have, Anurag sir is imparting. If we go anywhere there in terms of getting connected with a passion to take, with a passion to relate, things will happen obviously and automatically. Thank you so much, Anurag.
That applies to the trainer also.
Yes,
That
both the
applies to
ends.
the
I
trainer
said
also.
both the
उसको भी
ends.
समझना होगा कि समझना होगा कि
Yes.
he or she has been given opportunity to make a difference in somebody else's life. So we have to do that honestly also.
That's what I said, na, both the ends. All the three things needs to be at both ends, whether it is giving or receiving. Yes, ma'am. So, Rupali ma'am, we are going now. Actually, the time is already 5:10. And
Deep, before
just
we
a
go
last-
ahead, Deep, may I say something here related to this only?
Yes, 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 please. Yes, Ina ma'am, please.
Collaboration of all the three which will work, not one person, because teachers also go with the intention that they require ready-made solutions, which is not possible. In the training, your mind opens up. You do not get ready-made solutions. Ready-made solutions you will get in your class itself, because different unique children are there, you need to deal with them. But training actually makes your level little higher, where you can start thinking on that, yes, this I can do. In this way I can try. So I think that's the only difference, because we go with wrong intentions, we do not get that, then we feel training is useless. So that's it. And then teachers don't feel like sitting. Again, the presentation, if it is only simple presentation also, and I would say the trainer is the most ordinary one, but teacher will grab something from there if she goes with an open mind. Bring back something for her, may not be the 100%, but maybe only 10%. But उस 10% से भी उसकी class में तो फर्क पड़ ही जाएगा पक्का. That's for sure. So this is
Yes,
what I
it
just
is.
wanted to share here, because I have been into the teacher shoes also, and I have been into the training part also. So I'm just trying to say it from all the sides.
Very true, Ina ma'am. And this is last thing which is coming to my mind. So I'm asking both of you, Rupali ma'am and Anurag sir. Sir, is it quality or quantity that makes a difference, or that reduces what we want? What's that? Is it quality or quantity? Quality has decreased or quantity has increased? What do you think about it? Because you see, when there is a certified number, what I think about. Yes, sir.
There has to be a minimum quantity, because as per the norms of CBSE, there has to be minimum quantity, but obviously quality matters. So there has to be minimum quantity with quality. You cannot just say either of these, but you have to choose quantity and quality in a better way. So quantity minimum, that covers the basic minimum domains, basic minimum modules where you can learn teaching and learning processes. And obviously the quality of your training sessions highly depends on the trainer. It's the trainer who sets the mood. Teacher comes with a mindset to learn sometimes, and sometimes just to attend. But it's the trainer who sets the mood and provides quality to the training session, because you are driving, you are on the driving seat. So quality remains in the minds of the trainers, and the way you conduct the sessions, the same way the teachers will respond. So it all depends on how good a trainer you are, and then you can drive the way you want.
Absolutely agree, Anurag sir. First 15 minutes, there may be that perception. That perception changes completely. You are in the driving seat as a trainer. I absolutely 100%.
What do you say, Rupali ma'am, about it?
I agree to what sir said, that certain quantity is required, but you cannot compromise anytime on the quality. And yes, the trainer sets the mood. The trainer should also go there as you know, that today I'm going to learn something new. The trainer knows what they are going to train about. Now, I also do a CBSE training. The trainer knows that. The trainer knows this is my PPT, this is my content, this is what I'm going to deliver. But sometimes it is very, very important that you gauge the audience that you have. And, you know, you can actually give them the real life tips. You can actually get them to talking. You do not need to be like a lecturer or a teacher over there. You need to also put them on the same pedestal as you are, so that it can be a mutual and a fair give and take, where the learning happens to the optimum level. So, you know, the intention should just not be delivery. The intention should be give and take in a mutual manner for a fruitful interaction where both the parties are learning.
Yes, very true, ma'am. Intention makes it fruitful. Interaction, because without interaction, nothing can be delivered, nothing can be perceived. Great, ma'am. Ina, ma'am, just see if there are any question with us on Zoom chat.
Yes, the checking. See, there is no direct question, but yes, Radha ma'am has said something that teachers work for, show the action, impact the knowledge in the training, will provide how to use the action, where and when. Counseling will give the person to inform his doubt and clear that. This is her opinion she's sharing. That's great.
Great, great. Yes. Ma'am, then you can share the questions for the audience. Today's questions for the audience.
Yeah, I'm just sharing. And these certificates will not be possible for the felicitation because I'm facing some issues this side.
No problem. We can have it later on. Right now, you just see. Share the questions. Audience, please get ready for your questions. Read and fire your answers in the Zoom chat. 5 seconds time for each question.
Today, there is some Wi-Fi connection issue this side.
Who did masters? Sorry. I strive to play an important role in the education and personal growth of children and adults. Who said the above lines? Dr. Rupali Dhamdare or Mr. Anurag Gupta? I strive to play an important role in the education and personal growth of children and adults. Who said the above lines? You can answer in your Zoom chat. Shanina ma'am, who did Masters in Digital Communications from Melbourne, Australia? Mr. Anurag Gupta or Dr. Rupali Dhamdere? Audience, if you have any question, you can leave your question in the Zoom chat. We can transfer that to Ma'am Rupali and Dr. Anurag Gupta. They will answer us and we will just share with you because time is not allowing us to stay more. Sir Anurag. And I'm sorry to say that our felicitation certificates, we have some technical issues. So that's not prepared yet. And we will be sharing with you at your personal windows. But yes, heartiest congratulations from 3H family. We are proud to have you and we want to thank you and honor you for your generosity, for your virtuosity and gracious time at unique@kuch baatein zindagi ki. Dr. Rupali and Dr. Anurag, we are privileged to have you here and interact with you. Lots of takeaways, lots of insights, thoughtful insights are there. We discuss and really I wish that all the audience as well, they must have learned, they must have taken away all that which we had discussed right now, and they will definitely implementing that in their real life as well as in their educational front. Thank you so much, everybody. We thank God also for assembling us on this platform. Thank you, everyone.